Please welcome Kayla Janke, owner and founder of Parvati and Athena events, Valley Tent and Party Rentals, Ottawa Valley Roast House, and Nature's Compass in Laurentian Valley.
Thank you, Holly.
Kayla, welcome back to OB Boss Babes.
Thank you for this opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Kayla, do you remember when I first reached out to you when I had first started the podcast? That was 2 years ago now. I mean, I still remember it though, like it was yesterday. I had sent you an email because I had heard about you from my friend Autumn Liggett at photography, and she had said oh, she is a serial entrepreneur. She owns multiple businesses, and at the time I didn't even know what a serial entrepreneur was. But what was your first reaction when I reached out to you initially?
So actually, it was Amy, my sister-in-law, who was seeing the email come through and was like, "I don't know if you've seen this, but you got to do this." I'm like, I don't think I should be doing this. I was like, you should. She's more of the outgoing one, the talking one, but I know she, was kind of more my role. But I was definitely nervous. I was like, this is not something I do. I don't show myself. I don't like being front and center in any of my businesses, as I feel it's not my full credit because I have so many people involved in the background that really make it what it is today.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to get more into that. But I just have to say though, Kayla, that I was so appreciative of you saying yes and coming onto the podcast and being one of my first guests, because you really fueled the fire to what it is today. And I mean, you being an entrepreneur and saying yes to yourself and saying yes to me was one of the main reasons that I kept going. And then when I finally, I think after my 10th or 15th guest and someone actually said no, I was like, wait, what do you mean? Someone that was as nervous to come on the podcast as Kayla was, she said yes, why can't you? And that was my mindset though, because I literally thought, well, doesn't everybody want to be on a podcast? But I want to talk about your journey. So you were working, Kayla, for the Township of Laurentian Valley as their administrative council clerk. So I want to know how you decided that you were going to leave your municipal job and walk away from regular income, benefits, pension, and embark on entrepreneurship.
So Holly, it was definitely the hardest decision, but the best decision that I've ever made. It was roughly three years ago, January 2020, when I finally gained the courage, and it was after talking to family enough times that they really gave me the courage, and knowing that I had a safety net that I didn't even realize. Just to take you back a bit is, leading up to leaving 2019, I really kind of knew at that point I wanted to leave. I always had kind of something pulling me. I just didn't know what exactly it was, because I had my mind focused. I'm going to work with the Township of Laurentian Valley. Goal is to become CAO, follow my dad's route, right? You go to school, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder, and then retire and live a good life. Mm-hmm. Something was pulling me, didn't know what it was fully, but in 2019 I kind of realized that, and in 2020, in January, I finally decided it's time. It was a lot of talking to families. My brother Brandon, who is very kind of analyzes a lot of risks, he actually really helped me kind of make the decision. Everyone in my family was like, this decision isn't for them to make, it's for myself to make. Mm-hmm. With Brandon, he kind of analyzed, Kayla, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, worst thing is, it doesn't work out. Me and Brad are support off of one income now instead of having, our eggs in different baskets, with having that security at the township. We go bankrupt, we move in with our parents. My parents, that's the worst thing that can happen. Brandon kind of put it to perspective for me, because, in my mind, I was like, this is it, this is the end, there's no other option. It was just couldn't see past this wall. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what, Kayla, if you don't know until you try. And second of all, if it doesn't work out, you have enough experience, your business background at school, everything, that you're going to find another job. Mm-hmm. There's places looking for these things as well. At that time, he was just starting CNL, and he knew, CNL was always hiring those roles. So it was okay, felt that, because I knew leaving the township, if things didn't work, I couldn't go back there, right? It's just a way of life. So it was scary, it was my main job that I knew, and he really helped me push through that to get there. So definitely family support and just talking to people. And, no one wanted to make the decision for me, but it was key that I needed, and something just came over me one day, and I was like, it's time. Yeah. And thankfully it was before COVID hit that I made that decision, because if not, I think I'd still be there today.
Oh,
and
really?
Probably there till 55, right? Because COVID would have showed me, Kayla, this is exactly why you can't leave. Mm-hmm. The world is too unpredictable. Your business will never survive this. that would have been the story I would have been telling myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm so thankful I gave my notice when I did, because if I would have waited a month or two, I would have changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive that.
Well, not just even yourself, but I mean, like the way that the media was portraying it too with local businesses. And we saw so many local businesses having to close their doors and the struggles that they were facing. And a lot of businesses didn't make it. And I mean, that was a lot going into it too. And now, did that not scare you? I mean, especially like it's 2020, you're starting your new entrepreneurship path. I mean, January, everything seems to be going well. Everyone's like 2020, ringing in the new year. It's going to be a great year, the best year yet. And then March hits. What were you thinking?
I didn't portray it off to people. Like, people came up to me and were like, you must really regret leaving the township, your secure job. I never tried to portray it that way. I was like, oh no, it's all good. Inside, like, just scared to death.
Yeah.
Over the summer though, I really got to ponder that decision. And it's like, you know what? Like, if I didn't leave and do this jump, I never would have done it. My life would be looking a whole lot different. So yeah, it was scary. We made it through. The government had some support to help business because the world just stopped. It was like everything overnight at the end of March was like, we have no idea what this is looking like. At that time, I was like, okay, yeah, we got 2 months until wedding season starts in May. It'll be gone by then. I just kind of kept telling myself, and it kept going on, right? I think it lasted up to 2 years, right? So crazy. It was probably the best decision still I've ever made. Our business, even though it was a rough, I'm not gonna lie, a rough 2020. Everything was unknown, but our businesses never have been so successful since leaving the township. We have other reasons too that I feel like it's successful is that we brought on a full-time employee at the end of 2020. Christine helps us, and she's really helped grow our businesses as well. So,
well, let's talk about your businesses, because you're a serial entrepreneur. I know what that is, but a lot of people don't. So what is a serial entrepreneur? And tell us all about these businesses that you oversee.
Okay, well, basically it's just, I own multiple businesses, founded, operating them right now currently as myself as well. So businesses I own, I started with Valley Party Rentals. That was our first business we started. And I started that with Brad, my partner. But I came into that one as just an investor kind of aspect. I didn't have intentions to be fully in on running it. I like the concept of the back end part of it, like learning, and I had the experience with the business where Brad was kind of looking for his intentions going into this was another job. So it really gave me the opportunity to learn filling out the articles of incorporation and all the director paperwork. I threw myself as president. He knew it too. He really didn't know what that meant, but I felt like I was better suited to run the business operation kind of in the back end kind of thing and how businesses work versus he was just about he wanted to change his lifestyle and what his work was, so he was just looking for another job part of it. So Valley Party Rentals is a event rental company. We service all the Ottawa Valley with tents and event rentals. I would say we're the biggest one now in the Ottawa Valley. Our business has grown immensely over the last 2 years. Our other businesses, Parvati and Athena events, I started that in 2017 when I realized I wanted a different direction. Valley Party Rentals wasn't really telling people we decorated to the extent that we do. So I decided it was great. I should take that apart, and I wanted to further define my market segment on that. So Parvati looks at decorating and designing weddings, working with couples to really transform a wedding venue. Like we create a blank space that's more like the Rent-Through Armories, Germany Club even, and it's like we just totally transform it that people when they walk in they're like, holy wow, I can't believe.
Well, it goes from drab to fab is what you guys do.
Yeah. Really, I love that part of it, that we can take full control and be creative with that to create someone's wedding and make it a magical place. Other businesses, so in 2020, my reason for leaving the township as well was to start Ottawa Valley Roast House. Ottawa Valley Roast House is an online business mainly. We are a coffee roastery, so we sell most of our workings is through wholesale customers, through local shops, bakeries, cafes, little gift shops, grocery stores. So we're working on kind of growing that part of it. We have kind of no intentions at this point to like start a cafe by any means. We like the online concept, low overhead, just as we establish the business and build a name for itself. Our last business, which I started drawing up the concept of that business right after I launched OV Roast House, and I really had the time because it was summer 2020. It was when the world kind of shut off. Things didn't really kind of get busy in the event industry until August that year. So I started planning, and like also trying to put my eggs in different baskets. Again, I was like, okay, well, if weddings can't be taking place right now, what can people be doing? They're still camping. At that time, eventually the parks did open up and people were camping on Crown Land still, as well as more intimate weddings. So I was like, how can I bring a new business model that's still kind of in our range of rentals? We're basically bringing an outdoor hotel room to people to stay in. So that's when we developed Nature's Compass. I didn't get a chance to launch it though until I think the website launched in January of 2021, and kind of took off from that. Now we're recently looking at a new direction with that, just as labor shortages are a huge issue right now. It's hard to find workers, so kind of keeping the direction but like slightly just pivoting to make it better.
Okay, so it's 2020, the event business, the wedding business, that industry is slowing down, and you're thinking, well, I need something to keep me busy, and you create new businesses, and they're taking off, which is great. Now we're in 2023 though, Kayla, and everything's ramping back up again. How are you juggling and overseeing 4 businesses? Like, please tell me that you have expanded and hired. I mean, Christine's amazing. I've met her now today, and she is fantastic. I want a Christine. I think every business somewhere.
Everyone needs a Christine.
Everyone needs a Christine in their life. But Christine is only one person. You're only one person. Please tell me that you have expanded a little bit more.
Yeah, so we do have other people that help us. So we have family. So Brad, for instance, he runs the whole operations for Valley Tent. So he's in charge of the tent crews, delivery staff, so making sure all that. So he's kind of really focusing the Valley Tent side of things, making sure that we're meeting our deliveries, all that. Everyone's kind of managing those staff. My sister-in-law Amy, I really need her support. She's the reason I feel like Ottawa Valley Roast House is where it is today because of her marketing skills. She's the one that manages all that, and I feel that's something we need for our other businesses too. Someone that can focus in on that and make those businesses grow through social media. Yeah.
And Amy has done a fabulous job with Ottawa Valley Roast House, and her and I have connected multiple times now, and I'm always actually been creatively watching what she's doing and what she's you guys are outsourcing, I should say, who you guys are outsourcing and working with, and the creativity that she's brought to the table for Ottawa Valley Roast House is phenomenal. She's done a great job with that. Now, the other businesses, though, they're a little bit quieter, though, on the socials. Why is that?
Well, first of all, it's time we do, I think, need to hire someone out, either, sourcing it, someone not directly internal kind of position. It's partly my fault, too. Like, I did have someone to help me with that stuff, but kind of direction has changed. And I kind of have that responsibility on my plate, and I put it to the back burner. We're, fortunate enough with our businesses that, Valley Tent is at 10 years in business. It has gained a lot of, word of mouth is huge for us. And because of that, a lot of our traffic for our other businesses, specifically Nature's Compass and Parvati and Athena, comes through Valley Tent's website. Then we have links on there and bring our people to our other sites, other than Ottawa Valley Roast House, which Amy does most of that marketing for us.
Interesting. So I'm curious, Kayla, why you didn't end up merging Parvati and Athena events and Valley Tent and Party Rentals under one business, especially because Valley Tent mainly provides rentals for weddings. And then I was thinking how my mindset's working is that you could just have merged the two together. So you could have event design, styling, and planning, and then as well with the rentals.
It's a good question. So we kind of started out that way. Originally, Parvati and Athena wasn't a different entity. It was all under Valley Tent and Party Rentals. My struggle with that was, Valley Tent's market segment, who we're attracting has a huge wide range of people. And with Parvati and Athena, and why I kind of separated it out was because it's more of a kind of a selfish thing that I needed to create more time for my own life. With me going through Valley Tent, it was like I was taking on smaller jobs, but a lot of small jobs, right? And get the odd big one. Mm-hmm. Where now with Parvati and Athena, it's like we only take on big weddings. Like, you want us to come do your wedding, we do everything. So it was really kind of taking on more by taking on less clients. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of our target. We really narrowed down our target market for that. Set kind of higher rates starting packages just so that we only want to do 10 weddings a year. Really realized through COVID time, life is too short. I actually had so much time during the first summer of COVID when the world just kind of shut down. I spent most of my time out on the lake and the paddleboard, just literally sitting out there thinking. kind of like what just like maybe sit down and reflect on life and what I want. Right now I don't have, it's just me and Brad, I don't have any children, but it's like maybe one day I will want that. I'm not too sure, but if I'm living this way and booking everything I possibly can, I'm never going to get that lifestyle. I'm just going to be working, and that's all I'll know.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy working, but it probably comes to a point that when you have family, you know, Holly, that your life changes and
it does. But like, here's my thing, and like, I'm so open and vocal about this, is that one of the things that I had recognized when I entered motherhood was that it was fulfilling in so many ways, but it didn't fill my cup up all the way. I knew that there was something missing. And it was during my maternity leave, like that's when I was kind of thinking, I'm wanting to work, but I don't want to necessarily go back to my full-time job. Even though there was an opportunity for me to return from maternity leave early, and everybody kept telling me, no, focus, like enjoy your time at home, enjoy your time with your little one, but get creative. Like, is there something that you want to do? Like, find a hobby.
Passion.
Yeah, what is your passion? And my sister and I were out walking our kids in the strollers, and I had brought up this idea about starting the podcast, and it wasn't until I embarked on this journey and it's become where it is today that I'm loving it, and it is filling up my cup all the way. And I can be a boss babe, and I can be a mom, and I can be a wife, and I can juggle a household. But my priorities all have to fall within one another, and I have to be able to prioritize them so that I'm not burning out. And but I'm also feeling fulfilled though. And I think that whenever, and if that is something that you do decide to embark on, like you'll be able to kind of prioritize, you know, what you're able to manage and what you're able to see. And I think that's just getting back to the whole aspect of juggling motherhood. That's something that so many entrepreneurs without kids say, you know, like the reason why I'm able to do everything that I can do is because I don't have kids. Because they do take up a lot of your time, and they are a lot, but it's just about, you know, finding the things that you're enjoying and thoroughly enjoying. And you are able to do it all and juggle it all. It's just prioritizing them a little bit differently. Now, Kayla, I want to get back to the social media aspect because you don't have social media, which is extremely rare to find, especially for someone in their 30s. Why?
Honestly, so I did have social media probably in high school, and I think I quickly like deleted all my stuff in early university. Kind of got to that point where, and I'm always a busy person, as I kind of explained earlier today, is I always had like 2-3 jobs on the go, or I always had something on the go. So when I got to school, and especially university, I think anyone that goes to university, it's like you feel like it's way more intense than what it was like in high school, right? So you need to kind of cut out some of those distractions. So I did have it. I cut it out because, you know, I wasn't able to find time. I was also working while in school, and I just didn't want to get in that kind of world. I'm also like super private about my personal life. Like I'm pretty to myself. I'm an introvert. I don't like to display that, and I think just with keeping busy with all these businesses, to me it's like either I go on social media personally or I help grow my business. And it's like for me, like, okay, my priorities are on my business, and I kind of take that route of it. I feel like I'm not one to like, you know, go out there and kind of showcase me, because even with my businesses, you know, like your business is different than I feel like any of my businesses, Holly, that, you know, it is you, right? Like you're the one making this. Where my businesses are, it's not just me behind the scenes, right? So it's like, it's almost like it's not fair for me to be the one showcasing myself and look what I've accomplished, because it's, you know, it's Christine, it's Brad, my mom that helps with the finance side, everyone, like Amy. There's so many people that it's like all of us as a team are making these what they are, and it's kind of just our structure of our business.
Now, I can completely understand the aspect of social life, of keeping your private life private and not displaying it on social media, although I'm the last person to say that because I put it all out there and showcase everything. But have you ever even just like dabbled at the fact that maybe you might want to create a profile just to be able to like keep up with things? Because like we all hear about people taking like the social media detoxes where they log out or they delete their account, but then something ends up sucking them back in. So have you ever even been tempted to like...
I feel like one time I was maybe considering getting it, but it was really like, you know, do I even have time for this? It was really my thing, because I was just like, I know, like earlier I talked about, like, I really get addicted to things. I will say that, like, I don't watch TV. That's one thing I have a rule in my life, because I'm so busy. I say I only watch TV on weekends. Me and Brad will sit down and have a movie night. Other than that, I don't. But however, I got hooked into Yellowstone, and it just like life is all about that. I just feel like I'm in the movie, and like the character just feels so real. So with anything, I become super addicted to it. So I know how I am, so I try to like cut that off. So I was interested one time. I don't know what told me, don't do that, Kayla, because you're going to be not spending enough time on your businesses now because you're locked into that social media world. So I guess I don't think I have any intentions on getting it. Like even Brad, if you look up Brad, my partner, is he's still single on Facebook. It's funny because it's we've been together for more than 10 years, and it's like it's kind of a funny concept.
Yeah, and I guess it's like one of those things that if you don't know what you're missing out on if you're not engaged in it, and I think it's just such an interesting thing, especially because social media is such a time sucker, as is TV. If you're addicted to a show and you're just binge watching it, like I know I got like that with The Handmaid's Tale, I just whipped through those seasons. But same with social media, scrolling on Reels, scrolling on TikTok, the amount of time that I myself personally would go in and look at my screen time was just ridiculous. And I want to be making more moments with my kids, with my partner, doing things even that I enjoy, like getting back to yoga and just the simple pleasures in life that you do. And I think that this is why you are able to take on so much too, Kayla, because having social media for your business is another business in itself. We have to learn to keep up with the trends. We have to be posting, or at least we think we do. But with you have created like genuine connections. And I think that this is something that we all have to remember, that word of mouth is so crucial. And you were talking about this earlier, and just getting back to the basics. And one thing that really caught my attention, Kayla, was the fact that you are our guest speaker for this event. You've got 4 businesses. Ottawa Valley Roast House, I would think, is the biggest one because it's on social media, that it's well known. But Valley Tent and Party Rentals, like that's your big one that's been around for so long. And the thing is that for someone who's not on social media and has these businesses that are, for the most part, quiet on the socials, except for one, your event today as our keynote sold out within 48 hours. That in itself, to me, speaks volumes, because people were so excited to see that it was you as our keynote speaker. And I think that is so intriguing to me for someone who's not on the socials, who stays away from that, is quiet on the socials, but obviously is doing bigger things behind the scenes. So tell us your secrets about human authenticity, connections, and forming genuine, real relationships in real life.
Yeah, I guess how I kind of form a lot of these connections, it's probably mostly thanks to the event industry. When we're in busy season, we're going out, we're meeting with the other vendors. Like you're connecting in with the florist, the caterer. You're meeting so many people, and it's like I think those connections have probably come from those, because like as soon as you talk to someone, there's another business owner or whatever, they're in the industry. It's like we have so much in common that it's like you can relate off each other, the stresses that we're going through, right? So I think a lot of those connections have probably come just through being in the industry, being out in public. These sorts of events like you have today are awesome because this is how you build those connections. Just meeting people, because you never know what the next person you meet is going to take you, right? Word of mouth in a valley is probably the biggest side of marketing, and that's like what's really helped Valley Tent and Party Rentals grow. One thing we do well, I believe, is our not social media side, but on our website kind of side, search engine optimization. Like we have really worked at that. So when people are Googling, tent rentals in Ottawa Valley, we're probably one that comes up at the very top. So kind of working on those first, which I guess is kind of part of the social media world, but in a different kind of concept, doesn't take up as much of your time versus being active daily on these channels.
And I think like just fostering those relationships in real life and having, like being out and about, like you were saying, like especially in an event industry, you are working with so many people and you're networking all the time without realizing it. Like, I mean, you're just being you in real life.
Yeah.
Like, and not saying that, that we don't do that on social media, because we do. I have met so many great women through the podcast and through social media and referrals, and I really should, like, you should connect with this person, and I'll get voice memos all the time and I'm able to connect. But I think it's just really like bringing it back to just that in-person human connection that we've so longed for, especially during the pandemic, because like that was something like we were forced to be virtual. And I feel like, a lot of us have just kind of stayed in that element by being virtual, but getting back to like being in person and meeting with people and having conversations in real life is so important and crucial to expanding our networks.
Yeah, and I feel like I've probably had some like more old school, I would say I have an old soul in me. It takes 2 days to get back to a friend.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at that, but I'm really great at in person. So I'd rather, with anyone, friends, family, it's like, I don't want to talk on the phone, I don't want to text through. It's just like, let's just meet face to face here. And it's funny, a lot of our clients, even through Valley Tent, it's like, and we kind of missed out on that with COVID, right? We're trying to do the Zoom thing, which was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But having that connection to really, you feel someone's energy
Yeah.
when you meet in person versus, the phone, you can get a little bit of that, but it's just not nearly the same level. So I have that old school way that I prefer communication face to face over any other method.
100%. I'm the same way. I'm all virtual though too, even though that's all I do with my podcast. But I wish I could do every podcast like this because I actually get to see you in person. We get to do like these fun events, and we get to actually, converse like outside of our interview slot time,
Yeah.
right?
I'm Erin Howitt, certified personal stylist, color analyst, and image expert. Whether you are already fashion forward or experiencing a little bit of fashion illiteracy, I am here to help you achieve all of your fashion goals. I specialize in body type discovery, closet audits, color analysis, personal shopping, and everything in between. It's time to elevate your wardrobe and mindset through style. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Valley Vogue Styling Co. You're watching the OV Boss Babes podcast exclusively on Spotify.
Hi, my name is Julia, owner and NUDA certified spray tan artist at Ray Days in Petawawa. At Ray Days, I offer safe, sunless tanning solutions from naturally derived ingredients. I am proud to provide high-quality products that are vegan-friendly and cruelty-free. Located on the Petawawa River, I offer a quiet and private space for your much-needed me time. To book your self-care appointment, visit my website at raydaysunless.com. That's RAYDAYZSUNLESS.com. Ready, set, glow.
Hi babes, Heather here from Gilded Finch. I make unique wooden artwork and signs, from business logo signs to nursery signs, baby announcement plaques, wedding guest books, and so much more. Check out my website, gildedfinchhomedecor.com, or Instagram, gildedfinch.homedecor, to see some of my work.
Amber Phoenix is the babe behind Phoenix Beauty. Located inside Beyond Lashes Aesthetics in Petawawa, she offers everything from tiny tattoos, facials, eyelash extensions, brow lamination, micro shading, microblading, and soon piercings. Grab some friends and book a girls' night out tattoo party where everyone gets inked with a 2 to 3 inches mini tattoo piece, and you babes get spoiled with treats and goodies. Amber believes that beauty is about feeling great about yourself and embracing your own unique style. That's why she always strives to give her clients the best possible experience to make sure that they leave feeling great. Check out Amber's work on Facebook and Instagram at Phoenix Beauty and send her a message to book your next appointment.
Hello and welcome to LV. I'm Katie Tullis, the Community Development Officer for the Township of Laurentian Valley. If you are a business owner or looking to start a business, let's start a conversation to see how I can help you with your business. I can point you to business resources. I can invite you to add your business to our business directory. This is a great way for us to stay connected and to have LV help you with your business and to see how we can work together. So welcome to LV, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Great. Other business owners that have heard from you today might think to themselves, do I have what it takes to become a serial entrepreneur? So Kayla, what are some success tips for creating multiple successful businesses without burning yourself out?
Biggest thing is having the people, right? Having that support. Like I said, for us, I have key people that help us. Plus, which I didn't mention, is we have probably about, total with Valley Tent and all our businesses, like 25 staff. They're helping behind the scenes, right? Some of them are seasonal, some of them are longer term than that, but that is key, is hiring the people and make sure that they're the right fit for your business. It's really hard to find people, and you know what? It's not that a person's not good. It's just how you connect with them, right? Do you understand each other as a business owner and the employee, and can you help each other grow?
So Kayla, many business owners that were here today heard from you, and they were probably thinking to themselves, okay, well, this is great. Becoming a serial entrepreneur, this is maybe something that I want to embark on, but they were wondering how you juggle it all and how you do it without burning yourself out. So how do you create these multiple successful businesses without it taking over your life?
So biggest thing is just having the people, right? We have a lot of key staff, and we have about, total with all staffing is 25 people that are helping run the businesses behind the scenes. It's really hard, someone may do their job, like is a good worker, however, is like you might not connect with them well as business owner to employee relationship. So it's key is finding someone that, you both want to have that same target of like growing that business. Because, as your staff grow, or as your business grows, so does your staff, right? Mm-hmm. So finding the people that sometimes I think people that you hire just maybe at different stages in their life too, right? I always talk about this awakening. I remember, not being the best worker. Sometimes it just hit me that it was like, I don't know what it is. Something calls to you and it's like, I need to be a better worker at this. And people just transition, and I call it awakening. And I think we all hit different awakenings. So maybe one staff, isn't working out, but like, doesn't mean that they're always going to be a bad staff. It's like they just haven't awoken yet. Yeah. It's kind of my analogy that I kind of think for that. So I think everyone has it in them to be good. It's just they just haven't got there yet. Biggest thing is having the staff, key people. Other things are for business owners. Make sure the biggest fault that I have is make sure before you get your foot into the next thing, try to have your other businesses to a stage that they have a great foundation. You have some people helping support those to help build those up. So it's not on you. Like anyone knows who started a business. When you start a business, you're working at it. Just you all the time. You can't afford to pay for staff, right? We're fortunate enough as you grow, you have a kind of staff base, and it's like, okay, this person isn't so busy. Other places, that's not a lot of times how things come up. Is like slow times. It's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do to keep ourselves busy? So off season, our January to end of April is our really kind of brainstorming time frame for us, and we have the energy that we start creating new businesses. And talking to people today, it's funny, I met one lady, and I think a lot of us are the same as entrepreneurs. You start one thing, and you just have a creative mind, and you start thinking of more. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about this other business she's starting, and how she has many more, and like that she's thought of, just haven't yet got to it, right? Just trying to learn to navigate through the waters, build that great foundation before you start another one.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I've learned actually myself, Kayla, is outsourcing, like you're saying, outsourcing the right people and finding the right people that meet you and your brand, and how you can kind of help each other. And I'm looking right now at my team, the Prosper Company Photography. Like they have taken my business to the next level because I realized that I can't always be the one behind the camera getting the footage, and like it's not even professional with my phone. But then I'm also having people that are coming up and talking to me and who want more information, and I'm trying to like navigate social media and like getting the behind the scenes, and I'm trying to do like I was saying, the photography and videography and manage everything. And I'm like, okay, now I need like someone to decorate and someone to help with things. And I think just allowing other people to kind of enter into your space that you can work together with, I think is so crucial. But it's the biggest step, is realizing that you can't do it alone, and you don't have to do it alone. But also taking time for yourself and prioritizing your mental health and self-care, as well as like taking that step away from your business too, knowing when you need a break. For myself, Christmas was coming up, and I could feel myself burning out. I could feel myself not being as engaged with podcast interviews. I had overbooked myself. It had been like a great, successful year, but by Christmas I was tapped out, and I said, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm not going to answer any emails. I'm not going to do anything. And then after the first week, I was like slowly like reaching out to people again, being like, I've got some time off over Christmas. My husband's home. Like I'm going to be able to have some time. Does anyone want to like, can I batch record podcast interviews? And everyone that I reached out to said, no. It's Christmas. I'm taking time with my family. I suggest you do the same. And it was really what I needed. And I think that I needed that kind of kick in the butt to say, no, I'm shutting down and closing over Christmas. You should too. Like practice what you preach on social media. And it was so good because I just kind of remembered like, I need to do this more often for myself and just take a break, because our biggest critics are ourselves. and your social media, your business, everything's going to still be there at the end of the day. People aren't expecting you for that regular post. People aren't expecting, like, unless you have like a prior business commitment, people aren't expecting for you to show up on time at that same time every day. Unless, like, I mean, at least for me, like for my podcast, like, it's okay to shut down and take that step and that mental break. Exactly.
We all need that recharge.
Yeah.
Time to recoup and to build the next thing, right?
Yeah, and I love that, like, this is what you talk about on all of your websites, is the fact that, like, bringing it back to nature and just shutting down and like you were saying, taking time with your spouse to just sit and watch a movie and just unplug and just get back to the basics. And I think that's all something that we all need to remember to do. Now, one important aspect too, Kayla, that you knew very early on was working with professional photographers whose work not only aligns with your brand, but visually represents your business through their lens, capturing a collection of photos that tells your story. So can you share with us your longtime photographer and how she brings your brands to life?
Yeah, so I don't think Ottawa Valley Roast House would be where it is without Autumn. I came across Autumn actually through Valley Tent. She actually reached out to us. She was doing like a mock kind of like elopement session, and she wanted to gather some rentals so she could put together some like little mock shoot. So didn't anything up, I dropped it off to her. She did her own thing. I got the pictures back and I was like, oh my god, she lets us have it back so we can all advertise and promote each other. That's when I was like, oh my god, this girl. At the time, it wasn't made aware to people. It was kind of near February 2020 when I first met Autumn. And I, at that time, I knew I was starting Ottawa Valley Roast House, and Amy was really helping me with that to say, hey, we want to get this rolling. Here's what we need to do to make it successful. We're in a new era of starting businesses, and social media is so important, and having professional photos. So getting those photos back from Autumn, I knew in my head, I was like, oh my god, this is the girl. I love her style. So we instantly went out and contacted her. She was probably one of the first people that knew about the business before it was launched, because we needed her to do product photos so we could get our website ready to go before we officially launched out to the public. I think for Autumn, because of her lifestyle, it was just the perfect match, right? I hope it wasn't. I think it was pretty easy for her just to kind of take those shots, literally just grab a bag of coffee or whatever and live your lifestyle and just capture it in your day to day. So she really has helped us build the brand that we want it to be, kind of that part, that outdoorsy feel of like what we find very important. And it's a huge part of Ottawa Valley, and this community we are so fortunate to have open so close to us, and how nature is just right outside our door.
Yeah. Well, just even getting back to like my conversation about the importance of connections and working together, she had shouted your name and your businesses from the rooftops when I had her on the podcast. I think she was like either the second or third person that I had on, and this is just another way to connect me with you, because she was like, have you heard of Kayla Janke? This girl is on fire. She's like starting multiple businesses and she's just doing such great things. And it was so nice, to hear her talk about you and your businesses so positively, and then to hear it kind of reciprocate it right back. So Autumn, if you're listening, shout out to you, because you're doing great work too. Now, Kayla, what is one life lesson that you have learned as a business owner that you knew when you first started out?
Life lessons. Oh, I think the biggest thing is not letting your fears come between you and your dreams, and taking opportunities as they come to you. At the start, and not leaving. Kind of staying on that municipal level, not jumping out to my own, was the hardest thing, because I was letting my fears, right? All those what ifs on not succeeding to do it. So it really held me back. I could have left, I felt like, a year before, but I was just, my fears were coming between it, and I wasn't fully thinking of all the options I had. Biggest thing for people, don't let your fears come between you and your dreams. That being said, make sure if you're looking to do a jump like I did, I feel like you should set yourself up so that you have kind of a safety netting, whatever that looks like. For us, it was Valley Tent Party Rentals was already quite established. It just needed some more to it, some more oomph, and that's where my side came in. So for anyone, that's the biggest thing I would say is don't be afraid. Just do what makes you happy.
And there will always be something to fall back on.
Yes.
Always, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, it's true. Like everything.
We don't have to wait for retirements anymore.
No. Biggest thing, you want to be happy while you are working, right? We're young, and if you can find a lifestyle that your work is able to provide you, if it's working for someone else or benefits starting your own business. It's what it's all about. We want to enjoy life while we're young and can.
100%. I love that. Now, Kayla, we are going to move in my favorite part of the podcast, my rapid 10. So those questions you do not know. And I know you're a little nervous, but I promise it's going to be fun. But these are going to be a little bit different than what we discussed last time. Okay, here we go. Do you have many guests that glamp in the winter?
So actually, that is something we don't take on just because of the availability to do it. Like, it's like setting up winter tents, even like wedding tents. It's something we don't do just with staffing. We kind of have a lot of people laid off, as well as it's a lot harder on your body to set those things up and to dry those tents. It takes a lot more. So for us, it was something we did consider. However, it was pricing wise. Instead of just charging our normal price, is like it'd have to be charged so much more because it's trucking that gear in that you might not be able to fully back into a spot, as well as your product needs to be dried out after, or it's going to mold and not be nice the next time it goes out. So huge, more like a lot more in the background that you have to do to keep that doing. So it's actually something we haven't done. I don't think we'll ever do it unless it's maybe in a different situation of not doing winter camping, unless it was maybe on a property that more has availability to do it, right? Versus trying it in different ways. First of all, staff kind of point, but it's not something that's like off my radar. But
interesting. Yeah, I would be interested to see how many people actually like do winter glamping because I'm not one of them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Glamping is more of a luxurious thing. So you get like hardcore winter camping people, but they're the ones that have their gear themselves, right? Like
they're the ones that are going up and setting them tents themselves. They do not need someone else doing that for them.
Yeah, we're like, our clientele is like more looking for that luxury side where it's like winter camping is for the, intense people that are outdoorsies and want to have that experience.
Yeah. Okay, well, this brings me to my next question for you. Would you rather camp out at Woodstock 99 or be stuck in the glamping tents at the Fire Festival? Did you see either of those documentaries?
No.
Add them to your Netflix watch list. Okay, after you're done Yellowstone, watch Woodstock 99, and it was a shit show, as well as Fire Festival, the festival that never happened.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that one actually.
Yes.
Is that the one where it was someone famous that was
Yes.
on an island or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have to watch because it was tents that were not luxurious by any means. I think that they were military style tents, and anyway, and then Woodstock 99 was it ended up in a fire, Jimi Hendrix fire, literally
okay,
shit went down.
Just hearing that, I'd probably have to go to the Fire Festival. Just hearing yours, but after I watch the movie, I may have a different.
Add it to your list, and then tell me because I could talk Woodstock 99 and Fire Festival. Bailey's in your coffee, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, not one for. Actually, I don't even drink that often. If I do, it's beer, craft beers only usually, and I'm not. Yeah, not a liquor one in my coffee.
When was the word glamping added to the Oxford Dictionary? When do you think?
Oh my gosh, I say it's something newer, maybe 2015, 2012.
Close. 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. What's a fun way to include greenery into your decor?
Oh, I love when customers do more. We see it a lot of times on the tables, but I love when we incorporate it into the lighting or special. We'll create different using silver oils most of the time. Different chandelier kind of concepts of greenery with glass globes hanging off. I think that looks so elegant. Versus it's nice still on the table, but it's nice to incorporate somewhere different.
Yeah. Where did the name Parvati and Athena events come from?
So they're actually two goddesses, and Brad actually helped me find a name because I wanted something that says more high class kind of feeling because the direction we wanted to take it. What we do, kind of our process and how we work with couples. With Parvati and Athena, we actually take a lot of time with them. So first meeting is usually about 2 hours, and we're really going through. We have a huge questionnaire we go over. We try to really understand who the couple is. So recently I had a couple come to me. Very outdoorsy people. They're leading up to their wedding, they're going on a canoe trip. That's kind of their bachelorette kind of parties. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, we need to incorporate this into. They didn't kind of have any concept of bringing that into it. So we get the opportunity to really throw questionnaires to meet our couples, learn from them. We give them ideas and kind of suggestions on how we think, because a lot of people want to portray their lifestyle and who they are through their weddings at the same time, right? In the style, they pick more of an earthy kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
But for these people, it's like, okay, well, we need to incorporate the canoe, the paddle, the photos. Like, you need to get photos. Your wedding's on the Ottawa River. Like, you need to make sure your photographer, maybe they have a drone. It'd be really cool to get some shots of you guys, as well as maybe your guest book's a paddle. Like, have different things that incorporate who they are. We try to bring it through the event.
And Kayla, you already know this question is coming. Who is one local boss babe that inspires you that you think everyone should know about?
Okay, I had a hard time with this one, Holly, because there's so many people that I think are great out there. The one that really kind of stood out to me is actually Holly Allard. HA Video Productions.
Yes.
We met Holly. We had worked with her. We hired her for Ottawa Valley Roast House to create a video content for branding. And I actually, when I see Holly, she's a beautiful person. She just her personality is just she's so warming and just bubbly. She makes you want to, she's just an instant friend when you meet someone, right? I really see, I know Holly has, I think she works for a big organization and has started kind of this side hustle thing. So I look at Holly and it's I see how talented she is. And it's I can see her passion in her work. And I constantly think to myself, is she going through what I was at? So it's I wonder, is her passion going to be this, or maybe it's not. But it's I don't want, message for her is don't let your fears come between you and your dreams, because I think she does amazing work, and she needs to showcase that.
Yes, she does. I agree. I found actually that you two are very, very similar. You guys are very similar personalities, so easygoing, laid back, but she's doing such amazing work behind the scenes. And she doesn't showcase it all on the socials either. She's, for someone in videography and who does a lot of social media work, she's pretty quiet, but she's killing it in her business.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to have her recognized, just because I honestly think, maybe I could be wrong, but she is going through what I'm going through and trying to find her direction, right? Her dad's probably a baby from her parents, right? So it's is she following kind of like I did? This is what you're supposed to do in life. You get the pension benefits. Mm-hmm. Live with that, just get through until retirement and retire early and enjoy life, right? So I don't know. I don't know what her direction is, but I kind of see that.
Yeah.
I see the lights come on when she's talking about it in her videography, where I don't see her at her work role, but I wonder.
Makes us wonder, Holly, if you're watching this, you're going to have to tell us.
Yeah.
Well, Kayla, thank you so much for being a part of OV Boss Babes podcast again, and Ottawa Valley Women in Business Events, and being our keynote speaker. I appreciate you so, so much. And cheers to everything that you're going to be embarking on in your future plans. And you are just such an inspiration to other boss babes in the area. So cheers to you.
Thank you, Holly.